gun, put it back on, and turned the fuel on and tried it. Yeah, the fuel come out of there real good, plus it don't leak. So that's the way it's been ever since. Don't leak, and it works. And doggone petcocks on them Viragos, all these newer bikes, they leave a lot to be desired with that vacuum control that they use, because it's got a diaphragm behind that plate. So if that diaphragm happens to get a little bitty hole in it or it rots out, then it'll continuously leak fuel out through that diaphragm. They don't really get into the engine, but it'll leak. They got a little canister that sits off to the side for that hose. If fuel gets past there before it goes to the carburetors and chute, it goes to a recovery tank. But pretty soon that'll become overpowered. You just got gas smell all the time. Anyway, that doggone, on my Virago that had that problem with the diaphragm, apparently doesn't hold it off too good. I put a separate petcock on there off my lawnmower that I can turn the fuel off between it and the carburetor, so no fuel can get to the carburetors or the engine. And when I drive it, I turn it on, and when I get done driving, I just turn it off. Works basically like the old style petcocks, that you turn the fuel on or turn it off rather than worrying about the vacuum to keep it on. Even my new little Ninja's got a vacuum petcock on there. At least when they're new, they work pretty good. Eventually that'll probably screw up too. Either start leaking or it'll get, if the diaphragm gets too weak, then when the vacuum pulls on it, it can't get fuel to the engine because the diaphragm is still closed. It's got a little pin in there that pushes the plate up, closes the fuel flow holes off. Spring on there also, so that spring and that pin on that plate, if there ain't no vacuum in there, then that spring pushes that plate up to cover the holes over, and you can't get no fuel in there. So it's either got a hole in the vacuum line or a hole in that diaphragm plate, and you'll never get enough suction to pull that plate open to open the holes up for the fuel. It won't run worth a damn, or it won't run at all. I kind of like the old style petcocks better. They made them newer style petcocks with that vacuum shutoff, mainly for if you happen to have an accident and the bike lays down, then the fuel is prevented from running out all over the place. Same thing on the gas tank. There's a vent pipe for the gas tank, but it's got, if you happen to lay down, there's a ball in there that rolls back and covers the hole up, so the fuel can't run out through the vent hole. That's another thing that can cause a guy grief. If that little ball gets stuck or something, or gets in the way, even when it's standing upright, then you won't get no air to the tank, and if you run for a while, if it can't get vented, then the fuel won't make it to the system. Yeah, them safety features are nice, as long as they work. But there's just that much more stuff that can go wrong. Kind of like these modern car engines that have all that self-diagnostic stuff and computer-operated fuel injection. Yeah, it's nice when it all works. But boy, it's a son of a gun when something part of that system goes to hell, not only to find out what's wrong with it, but then it gets expensive as hell to fix it. Years ago, most ordinary guys fixed their own cars because they were simple. Now you practically have to have a degree in engineering to work on these newer cars, that fuel injection and all that anti-pollution crap they got on there. Most of these small engines that they have on these small cars now, the spark plugs are down underneath all that anti-pollution crap. You can't even get at them. Maybe in some cases you might have to take and lift the motor up away from the doggone chassis in order to get at the spark plugs on the bottom side. It could cost you several $100s or maybe even $1,000 just to change the goddamn spark plugs in the thing. I had a buddy the other day that had his belt break on a Harley Davidson. There's another flocking scam. Like $200 and some for a belt and over $400 to put it on, just for a drive belt. Yeah, Harley, they're outrageous on their parts. I've never really had no desire to have a Harley Davidson, although it seemed like anybody that rides a bike for a long time, that's what you end up eventually getting. Although I've been riding a bike for probably close to 40 years now, I still haven't had no real desire to get a Harley. Once I got this Kawasaki running, this is an awesome bike. And I like this fairing. The regular Windjammer fairing I like a lot better than them fairings that come on a Harley. Some guys that's got them, you know, they claim that they're better, but that's all probably just because they paid a whole pile of money to get it. Think about when I got this bike, a Windjammer fairing was probably about $300. I'm not sure what Harley charges to add that to their bike, but it's probably $1,000 or some crap. Especially when they charge $600 to put a belt on. They probably charge the guy $80 to $100 just to change the oil in it. Yeah, it ain't too bad out here today. A little bit windy. I'm trying not to make this video too awful long, because every time I make one that's real long in length, the size is just absolutely incredibly huge. That one I made of my 97 Virago, until I cut it down to send it up on YouTube, it was originally almost a half a gigabyte in size. 15 minutes. You're not supposed to have any more than 10 minutes on YouTube anyway, so I cut about half of it out. That one video editor that I got that's called Blaze Video Media Pro, it does some neat stuff. Pretty soon I'm going to end up either having to buy it. I just got it like a shareware deal off the internet, but I think they want like $65 to buy it. If it works as good as what it has been, I'll probably end up buying it. But I'll just wait till the doggone trial period runs out. There ain't no use of blowing that money until I really make sure it does what I want it to do. I see they had another one program in there that's supposed to edit WAV files and stuff. They want you to buy that also. There's about 5 or 6 programs that comes along with that Media Pro, and each one of them is a separate program that you need to register if you want to use it. Now, that's just one of them scams to try and get you to spend a whole pile of money for something you probably never use. Like with that Tony Hawk camera, that's one plus side of that, that the video editing software and sound editor is all included when you buy the camera. So you can either trim the video or add sound to it or add narration to it after you've already shot the video. You can even run it through and do it again. Say if you want to add music on one track and you like the way that sounds, and you say, well, I wonder if I can add some narration in here to tell about what I'm doing while I'm riding. You just hook the camera back up to it and use it as a microphone, and then play the video on your computer and then talk into the microphone while the video's playing, and you can record your own narration to the video. Which is real cool to be able to do that. This Creative Labs camera didn't come with no such software to play with it. You'd have to go buy a separate program in order to do that editing. I'm going to turn this fuel off. Turn this off. And I'm going to go in and see what this looks like. Got my other 97 Virago sitting out here. I also have an 84 Firebird over here. It is a really nice car. I've had that for over 20 years. expensive $2,000 aluminum trailer that I used to haul that guy's Harley Davidson with that broke a belt on it. Had to take and haul it back home all the way from Sioux Falls. Anyway, I'm going to shut this camera off.